Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
Good morning, Utah. Happy Juneteenth as we take a look here at a beautiful shot that was set on our Wednesday evening. Thanks to Mark for sending this in from Cedar City. Look at that beautiful sunset there, clear skies. That lets you know high pressure is in charge when you get those clear views of that sunset off on the distance there. Not as clear, but still a pretty nice shot here. This was sent in by Brian in the Mapleton area. You can see, again, a little hazy sunset, but overall, still very indicative of summer-like conditions, and that's something we're going to really talk about as we go throughout today. So as we look at your temperatures out there, 71 in Ogden, 71 in Salt Lake City. It is about 61, so about 10 degrees cooler there in Provo, 53, though, in Logan. But then notice down to the south, we've got 70s from St. George to Lake Powell with 50s from Blanding, stretching up towards Hanksville and over towards the Price area this morning. So a wide array of temperatures. But here's the deal. Let's talk about Salt Lake City for a moment because, you know, we've hit 90. We've hit those mid-90s. Now the next step is hitting that first 100-degree day. Now, the earliest we've ever done that is back on June the 4th, and that was back in 2021. So we have passed that. So obviously, this will not be the earliest we've hit 100 degrees, but we normally don't hit 100 until about on average the first week or so of July. So this is going to be a little ahead of schedule because I think that question mark will turn into today's date here as we go throughout this afternoon, as I think our first triple-digit heat day in Salt Lake City is on the way. In fact, I'm forecasting 103 in Salt Lake City, 102 in Provo, even 97 for our friends up in the Cache Valley, 104 in Moab, 108 in St. George, 100 in Wendover. Whew, that's definitely a scorcher, folks. So because of that, and because it's a little early in the summer season to hit these triple digits, we do have a heat advisory that's been issued for portions of Park Valley down to Wendover, most of the Wasatch Front from Ogden stretching all the way down towards Utah County. And that's just an indication that, hey, you need to be aware it's going to be hotter than normal even for this time of the year, and it could cause you some heat illnesses if you're not careful out there. So be aware of that. We've also got those heat advisories in effect for southeastern Utah as well, where we can see those temperatures more on the average of 105 to maybe as high as 108 as well. So dangerous heat for sure this afternoon, but the good news is it's a very short heat wave here because we're already tracking a pattern change on the way. High pressure giving us that windy southwesterly flow and the hot conditions. We've got a couple of fronts to the north, but they're not going to really do much for us except for give us those gusty winds ahead of those fronts here as we go throughout today into tomorrow. But here we go. Once we start to get this upper level low moving on shore, it's a strong upper low, and it's going to kick a final front through as we get into your Saturday evening into Saturday night. Now, I don't think we're going to really see any real precipitation chances. The air will be very dry, but what's interesting, valley rain and mountain snow just to our north as you get up into Idaho. Yeah, valley rain, mountain snow. Hard to believe we're still saying that, but we're not going to see that. But we will see the below average temperatures diving in across the area this weekend. So notice the Wasatch Front, we go from the low 80s for highs on Saturday to the low 70s on Sunday. In southern Utah, we go from the mid to upper 90s to the low 90s by the time we get towards Sunday. Along with those gusty winds, that means the critical fire conditions were going to be around with us. That's the hot temperatures, the low humidity levels, the dry vegetation, and of course, when we tap into those gusty southwest winds, that's going to give us an extreme critical fire threat for us. So most of the Beehive State underneath a red flag warning or a fire weather warning, and this goes through at least Friday night, and for some, all the way through your Saturday off towards the south and east. So St. George, 108 for your Juneteenth with lots of sunshine and windy conditions, 102 on your first day of summer on Friday, and then we cool it down back into the double digits heading into the weekend. The Wasatch Front, record highs possible today, and then we're still right around 100 as we go into your Friday before we cool it down in a big way just in time for the weekend.